It's a full house here on Radio U Mornings with Hudson and Allie because we've got three special guests that you should know. One you'll definitely know if you're a Radio U throwback fan, but this song has been blowing up here on Radio U. We have Dawn, originally from Fireflight and now from Altira, as well as Gina and Ash from the band. Welcome to Radio U Mornings.
What's up, Radio U fans?
So glad to have you guys today.
Yeah, introduce yourself so everybody gets to know your voices, so everybody knows who is who, and tell us what you do in the band too.
Yeah.
My name is Dawn Michele, and I sing, and I try not to fall down.
I'm Gina Osmar. I go by Gina G Drums, so I play the drums in Altira.
Awesome.
And I'm Ash Blair, and I play the guitar in Altira.
Nice. All right. So now we know who everybody is. I mean, I already knew, but now everybody knows who everybody is. Of course, Dawn has some history with us here on Radio U, going back to your days in Firefly. But it's been a little while since Firefly put out any new music or did a lot of shows. So, Dawn, everybody wants to know, what have you been up to in the between time from Fireflight to Altira now?
Well, yeah. Firefly put out our last album in 2020, which was a very interesting year. Maybe you heard about it. And, at that point, we'd been a band for 20 years. And band years are like dog years. So we were basically like 100 years old. And so after we delayed our album release to deal with the fact that the world was going insane,
Right.
we kind of thought, you know what, guys, we've had a good run. We're getting old. And as there was no touring in 2020, it felt like a natural time to maybe retire from touring. So we did. Though we did continue like releasing singles through like 2021 from the last album we put out. So since then, it's been a really crazy time in my life. I think a crazy time in everybody's lives. And but it's been in the last couple of years that I found, inspiration from people around me, just pushing me that I should consider, continuing to make music. And truthfully, I've spent the last 6 years, a good part of it, very angry and just really angry when I turned on the television or drove down the road or, just saw what was happening in the world around me. And it's been quite a journey, but at the end, I feel like God was just really starting to kind of help me understand, why I was so angry and help me see that all the people around me were angry too. And we were all just kind of lashing out at each other. I think as a result of like this big worldwide fear trauma that we experienced and the grieving of the loss of the control we thought we had. I mean, we all know that we don't have any control, but we still keep grasping for it every day. And the pandemic really opened our eyes to how out of control, how we don't have control. And that's so scary. And everyone's been grieving that. And as a result, I think we've just seen a lot of ugliness come out of that. A lot of people just fighting and always just trying to be right. And that became the most important thing. And but I felt like God was telling me, they're just afraid, they're really afraid. And that's why they're acting this way. So that really started opening my heart and I started really just trying to battle fear in a new way in my own life. And as a result, like more music was coming to the surface. So then I really didn't have it in mind to tour at all or anything, but I felt like God was telling me that is not, that part of your life is not just over. So I was like, okay. And then I felt led that, I shouldn't just try to do it by myself. I should try to have a new band to do it with.
Yeah.
So that opened the door and to Altira. And Altira is awesome. And the name Altira is Hebrew for the verse "fear not." So that's really our mission. And I'm super thankful for the other ladies have come to join me on this mission.
That's so awesome. I love the kind of the story behind how you got back into music and wanted to do this again. And we have talked with a lot of bands that recently that have made comebacks, and I'm hearing a lot of the same things
Is
about
that
people
right?
getting
I feel like every
inspired by
time
something.
I feel like every time I like look on social media, there's another band like we're making a comeback. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
Exactly.
minute, are we
Ex-
all doing this right now?
Exactly. It feels like there's something in the
Well,
water and people are getting inspired.
you know what? It's got to be too that the music from like this era, like going back 20 or so years, is so good
Yeah.
that there's a demand that people are like, you
We
guys
want
went away too
more.
soon. We need more. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, transitioning now from, as you decided to come back to making music, you got inspired again, and now Altira is here. How did you guys meet? How did the band come together? How, we're seeing all three of you ladies now. And so, how did this happen?
It actually happened really fast. I think because it was such a God thing. When I just started feeling led that it should be a band, I was just trying to think about it, and I really wanted to see more female representation for young girls to look up to, in Christian rock music. And so I had remembered a couple of years back, Ash. She had reached out to me online, and she just talked about how she was, a female Christian guitarist coming up in the music world, and did I have any like guidance or anything for her? And I said, don't quit your day job.
The honesty, the brutal honesty.
But I said, you're a great artist, and so I was like, I don't know of any at this time. Fireflight was retiring, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have any positions, but if I hear of anybody who needs a guitarist, I will pass your information along. And I think I reposted her stuff, and tried to just do whatever I could to support her. And then, so as I started thinking about the band, I was like, I wonder what that guitar girl is doing. So I like went back through all my messages trying to remember what her name was because I would see her pop up, but the algorithms it's really hard to keep
Yeah.
what you want to see, like on
Right.
Instagram and stuff like that. So finally I found her. I was like, yes, I found her. And so I messaged her. I slid into her DMs and I was like, hey girl, what you up to? And
Ash, did you think you were getting scammed when Don DM'd you?
I didn't think I was getting scammed, but I was just like, wow, this is such a God thing. I can't believe, she said she would remember me. And 2 years later, I wasn't expecting to get that message. So,
Yeah.
wow.
And then Gina, how did you show up in the story?
Yeah, actually, kind of not really the same story, but she definitely did slide into my DMs too. And it was so cool. Like I was just scrolling through Instagram, saw the message pop up. We were gonna try to meet for some coffee, and we made it happen like pretty quick. And we met. She pretty much told me a lot of her past and what she was doing musically and just life in general, and then what she had her vision for upcoming. And she was like telling me about all of these plans and everything. And I guess, like, in all honesty, how you asked Ash if she was going to be, if she was skeptical, I almost was a little bit. Because I feel like I get those DMs all the time about, like, I want you to be my drummer. I want you to do blah, blah, blah. And I was like, the vibe was there. We definitely vibed when we met. And then it wasn't until like in person again that I was like, oh my goodness, this is all clicking and it's all making sense. And then first off, the music is fire. So,
Yes.
I mean, there was no hesitation there. It's, extremely fun to play. I mean, like I said, the vibe was there. So truly, yeah, she just found me from like Nashville musicians or drummers in town or something. And I was like, I'm still really new to town, so the algorithm is definitely working in my favor, I guess. But then, yeah, it really just all meshed. And I mean, I also, huge God thing. I mean, I am so grateful for this entire thing. I've been heavily involved in the church for a long time, and I've played with a lot of other rock bands back in Texas and stuff. So it just really feels like all my worlds colliding and coming together in such a great way. So yeah, super grateful for sliding in the DMs for sure.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're obviously glad it's worked out, and it's really interesting. We got a lot of we mentioned we were talking to you guys. We got a lot of good questions from listeners. I wish we
Yeah.
could get to all of them, but there was one particular I wanted to point out because it's so cool how Black Hole. It's so new. Like we've
Yeah.
only been playing it on Radio U for a few weeks. It already won in the Battle of the Buzz. It went.
It got a lot of votes, guys.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of votes.
But it's crazy how quickly it can make an impact because somebody sent this in. They said, when I first heard Black Hole on Radio U, the line, "If I'm not better soon, they'll say I'm not faithful," stuck out to me. She said, that really moved me because I've had an experience with similar with my chronic illness. And she was asking, is there anything in particular that inspired that line in particular?
Yeah, I think unfortunately, and I hope that we're moving out of this, but there's been a long-standing culture in the church where somewhere along the line they decided, that if you were a good Christian, God would just heal you of all your problems immediately. And if you still had those problems, it was probably because we used to joke about this in the band. We'd be like, what? And we would do it for everything. Like, what sin do you think is blocking your parking blessing? You never seem to be a parking spot close to the mall,
Yeah.
So we would do it for everything, So anyways, all this idea that you should be doing perfect and just having faith and getting healed and nothing will go wrong, now that you're a Christian, has really created this idea amongst a lot of people that they should just keep quiet about what's wrong and hide it,
Yeah.
And as a result, people they just suffer and they get worse and worse and things like that. They don't seek medical help when they need it, all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, I've just seen it in general, but also for me personally, like it's only been like the last couple of years, like I've had a series of traumatic events in my life from when I was very young. And I used to joke that anything more bad happened to me, that it wasn't going to be a fun movie anymore to watch. It's just going to be depressing. But they keep happening. And on this last big wall that I ran up against, where God just like stopped me and moving the direction that I was going, a lot of things came out and were revealed to me. And I realized how I had been trying to deal with my past traumas by keeping control in my life, and had just been staying busy, trying to people please and make sure everybody else in my life was happy with me, no matter what the cost to myself. And as a result, I had like completely abandoned myself. And so for me, I realized that I had been resisting getting the help I needed for my whole life. And it was time for me to make a push, to move towards health instead of just hiding, and covering everything with a Band-Aid. So a lot of that is where that message comes from, and also I've been blessed that because of Fireflight and the nature of our music, people from all over the world have been reaching out to us and sharing their stories since the beginning, and talking about the things that they're struggling with, their mental health struggles, all sorts of stuff. And I have so many people in my own life who have struggled with mental health issues and all sorts of things. And I see it happen time and time again, that people, when they realize that someone is complicated, they would rather just like, push
Distance.
them out of their life.
Yeah.
And take care, like I just really need self-care right now or whatever. So it happens a lot. I know that if you're going through hard times, there are very few people who want to stick by you. They're there for the good times. So that's always been a big thing to me, is to realize, God loves everybody. And the people who think they're in their good times, they're probably just hiding from their problems. Anyways, so yeah, that's where that line comes from. I'm not surprised to hear them suggest. I've been hearing that feedback a lot, and I do think it is a powerful line. And I am thankful that other people are connecting with the music and and are feeling seen and heard,
Yeah.
you know, as they're on their journey in healing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. Like I said, we got dozens and dozens of questions from people, all so supportive and just,
Yeah.
you know, from one song talking
Yeah.
about how it's impacted them. So really excited to see what you all have coming next. You know, I know you got new music on the way, so we are looking forward to more from Altira. And I wish we had more time.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Mm.
Well,
It's a shame,
Gina,
you guys. Why don't you give us more
yeah.
time?
Gina, Don, Ash from
It makes me
Altira, thanks for waking up with us on Radio U Mornings.